How you guys doing today? Being 15 years in the debt collection industry, I want to give you as a consumer some of the inside scoops on how debt collectors and debt collection agencies find you. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit. And now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. For those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. If you're new to the channel, you like the information that you hear, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel and liking this video. The reality is, debt collection agencies are always trying to find you. One of the main ways in which they do find you, and one of the first jobs that I had, is through skip tracing, right? So they use some of the same systems that credit bureaus use to gather information to actually find you as an individual. Now, the reality is, on the standpoint of gathering information with regards to getting in contact with you, the first thing that they do is they go off of the actual contract itself, right? So when you go and you fill out that credit card application, you go and you fill out that application with regards to getting approved for a car or a home loan or anything along those lines, that information is gathered and placed together and stored as information with regards to getting in contact with you. I know that there are times when you guys have pulled your credit report and you see old addresses on your credit report that you've lived at before, and you're just like, wow, how the heck did they find that information out? The reality was, it wasn't nothing significant. If you as a consumer apply for credit in general, you're the one who update the information, put the information on the application, and as a debt collector, that is the information that is used to actually get in contact with you. But the reality is, a lot of times, it's not like every day you guys are filling out credit card applications or once a month to update your information. So you may have filled out a credit card application 10 years ago, and 10 years ago you could have lived with your mom, you could have lived, on college campus. It's a plethora of places and things that you could have lived at. And then all of a sudden today you live in a completely different situation, right? You may live in a different state, you may live in a different country at that fact. Until you update your information with regards to filing for some type of new credit, then a lot of times we don't get that updated information. And so when an account is sent to collections, you got to understand, typically it takes about 6 months before it's charged off and then sold and sent to collections. There'll be a year time span before, a lot of times, before someone's contacting you on an account from a collection agency. And in a year, so much can change, as we all know. And so that information that we get from that credit profile is old. So what we'll do is we'll skip trace you. Now, one of the ways that we do that is pulling a copy of your credit report, right? We get a copy of your credit report. Chances are, if you did apply for anything new, that's how we get your new address, those new cell phone numbers, home addresses, and so forth with regards to that. Another thing is I don't know if you guys know, but when you're filling out an application, some applications require references, right? And those references, they'll want a first, last name, and a telephone number just to make sure that you're who you are. And that information is gathered with regards to getting in contact with you as well. So that credit report is probably the most important thing, because as a debt collector, when we look at that credit report, we want to know, obviously, who else you owe, how much it is that you owe. We can find your place of employment, and then any updated information with regards to an address and maybe a cell phone number that you may have updated, that on that credit application that you owe the debt on was an older information, right? And so then we'll, by a process of elimination, start contacting that information. Now, on the flip side, one of the things that I recommend everybody do is when you pull a copy of your credit report, you update your credit report with your address, phone number, and your place of employment. And a lot of that has to do with when disputing accounts. Obviously, a lot of times to verify an account, just an old address that is to that credit account will verify the account, and it helps avoid that. But on the flip side, if you're hiding from creditors, right, debt collection companies, then that seems like, okay, well, I don't want to update my information. The reality is, in my experience and what I tell people to do is to update that information, because you never know what's on your credit report and what is being reported on your credit report and who you possibly owe. And a lot of times there's a lot of inaccuracies with regards to that. So you're better off getting that documentation to you so that way you can, dispute the validity of the debt or challenge any information with regards to the debt itself. When you don't know and you're in the dark, then, you don't have that information. So I recommend you do that. I recommend that you don't hide for creditors and so forth with regards to that. Now, a second way that we do get in contact with consumers, and what I did for many years, and where I made my bread and butter, where I made majority of my money, was by third parties. Now, obviously, we know we can't disclose the third parties, but when I contact relatives of yours, and a lot of times, if you're married, if I contact your in-laws with regards to just getting a message to you and letting them know it's important that I do speak to you today, or if I'm contacting, your mom, your dad, and cousins and so forth, what I found in my collections, years of doing collections as a debt collector, is that a lot of times as a consumer, when you owe debt, even though we're not disclosing the information to that third party, by contacting them and telling them for you to contact us, even if you know it's about the debt or you don't, it sends curiosity to you or embarrassment to a certain extent, and then it causes you to have to call in and figure out what's going on. Now, if any debt collection agency discloses to a third party, which is other than yourself or your spouse, that you owe a debt and for you to call, then that's a violation of the FDCPA, and you can file a suit against that company. Just a little nugget for you. Now, a third main way that we would get in contact with people, and now, mind you, the last time that I was collecting was actually on the phone making calls. Towards the end of my collection standpoint, and the last collection business that I had was social media, because everybody's on social media for the most part. I would say maybe 85% of people, whether old or young, are on social media, especially the younger kids, because that's just something that they do. And the reality is some profiles people have blocked. So yes, if I try and find you on social media, when I used to try and find you, you can't see it. But some people have their profiles to the public. And when it's to the public, then we can find and contact you. And the social media platforms, the main one that I'm always going through is Facebook. Now, Instagram is pretty big, but with Instagram, sometimes they don't give as much information, but we can get information from you. LinkedIn as well. So those are the ways that debt collectors do find you, if in fact the information that they have from the credit card or payday loan or a car loan that you may have had that you defaulted on and that you did not pay. These are ways that debt collection agencies get in contact with you. This is the message that I have to every one of you guys. If you're tired of hiding, right? You're tired of the debt collection calls. You want to learn about credit and how credit can change your life with regards to everything. Here at Clear and Strategic, we do it in two methods. We have the first method where we're actually getting rid of inaccuracies on your credit report. Once all of that is done and we've taken care of the debt that you have that's past due and late payments and so forth, then we educate you on what to do as far as building credit, right? Building credit has changed my life, me and my family's life, me and my wife's life, and it can change yours as well. Down below is a 20-minute free consultation. Contact us with regards to what's going on. Everybody's not a fit, and when I say that, I'm not saying that if you don't get along or if you don't pay, I don't like you or whatever the circumstance is. One of the things about what I pride myself on is being honest, right? So I might get you, you may say, hey, I think I need credit repair services. I may look over your credit report and after the consultation and be like, you know what? No, you don't necessarily need credit repair. This is what you need to do. And I'll give you some advice with regards to helping you on that aspect. And then obviously I have some coaching programs and so forth with regards to the people who cleared up their credit and now they want to start building credit. And on the business side, we help with regards to that. Understand something. You deserve to be approved for the credit you want and need. Allow us to help you out with that. Now, if you have any questions with regards to credit or debt, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great.